Johnson, and welcome to Action with the Global Wrestling Federation. On today's program, we will see the tag team of Stephen Dane and Steve Cox as they are in action. We will see the Palm Beach heartthrob, Scott Anthony, who we saw in our last edition. He will take on Chaz. Now, apparently, Anthony sees this as a mismatch, but if you remember in the past days and weeks seeing Chaz in action, you know that Scott Anthony will definitely have his hands full. Paul Bunyan will be in action against two men. We will see Hollywood John Tatum in action. The tag team of Chris Walker and Steve Simpson will go against the Dirty Davis brothers. And in our main event, it will be the Handsome Stranger against Wild Bill Irwin. Now, the suave, debonair stranger having to go against the wild man from Denver, Colorado. It'll be interesting to hear how he's going to do it. We'll talk to Bill Irwin a little bit later. Action starting next with tag team action here. The team of Steve Dane and Steve Cox getting set to go against Kenny the Singer and the Soul Taker on our first event. There you see the team of Kenny the Stinger and the Soul Taker. Two very large men, one standing 6'5", the other 6'6" against Stephen Dane and Steve Cox. The hand of friendship by Kenny the Stinger. I think Steve Dane knows a little bit better than that. The collar and elbow tie-up as Kenny the Stinger takes Dane back into the ropes. Not a clean break as he comes up with a chop. Back and forth they go. Stinger sends Dane into the ropes, but Dane comes off with a shoulder block. Steps over one time, goes under the next time. No monkey flip there. The sole of the boot right into the forehead of Kenny the Stinger. Now back into the rope. Kenny the Stinger. Reversal by Dane. But Stinger gets the best of that shoulder block. Step over one time. And Dane out of the way. Stephen Dane challenging Kenny the Stinger, but now it's time to bring in the heavy artillery. Over the top rope comes the Soul Taker. 6'6", 325 pounds. This man has beaten wrestlers such as Jerry the King Lawler, Scott Hall, and a list of other impressive individuals. Now coming into the Global Wrestling Federation to demolish the competition. Looked like it was going to be a test of strength that of Roos as he begins to punish Stephen Dane, now using the top rope not only as something to choke the man with, but as a catapult. The fist to the top of the forehead. The Soul Taker, a dangerous man. Step over by Dane, shoulder block, sends Stephen Dane down. The cry of the Soul Taker. So confident is the Soul Taker, he sends Stephen Dane into Dane's own corner, and the tag into Steve Cox. Cox, who held the World-Class Tag Team Championship with Michael Hayes. Now trying to stay out of the way of the Soul Taker, but the Soul Taker has him cornered in the danger zone, as some call it. Thrust kicks right to the midsection. Has him wrapped up in the headlock, reverses it to get the tag, brings in Kenny the Stinger, who lays one in on the wide open Steve Cox. Cox trying to mount a comeback. The kick and the forearm right to the side of the head, another forearm. Steve Cox playing by the rules. And gets a beautiful clothesline there. Hooks the leg, count of one, gets two. But Rick Manning not able to get the count of three as the Stinger able to get the shoulders up. Tag into Stephen Dane. Don't look now, Kenny. Now you can look. Slapping some sense into the man, possibly, if you go from Stephen Dane's point of view, and what you call a break by referee Rick Manning. Into the corner. Dane sends Kenny the Stinger in. Clothesline. Stephen Dane at 6'1" may not be as tall as Kenny the Stinger at 6'5", but that clothesline delivered a little bit of punishment, but the bigger man able to make it to his feet and reverse the momentum. One way to reverse momentum is to cut off the breathing of your opponent. That's successfully done by Kenny the Stinger. Over the top rope once again, the tag to the Soul Taker. I don't know if Rick Manning was able to see the tag. By now it's a moot point, however, as the Soul Taker has Dane high above the ring and brings him down. Up, delivers the leg drop. And now provoking Steve Cox into the ring, the Soul Taker. Holding Stephen Dane for the open. Kenny the Stinger series of chops while Steve Cox protests. And the Soul Taker distracts the referee while Kenny the Stinger doles out punishment in the corner. Rick Manning with some authority breaks the illegal tactics of Kenny the Stinger. The tag as Stinger not the legal man in the ring. Dane, well-placed boot coming off the ropes. Fans cheering him on. He needs to get the tag to Steve Cox. Dane gets all 270-plus pounds of Kenny the Stinger up and over. Hip toss. As the Soul Taker getting a little upset at his partner. Soul Taker's had enough. Delivers a clothesline to Dane. One to Steve Cox. The Soul Taker now taking matters into his own hands. Delivers the elbow. Steve Cox, the Soul Taker, has gone wild in the middle of the ring. Sends Cox out of the ring. Shoves the referee back. The Soul Taker with a headbutt. Now delivers the elbow. The elbow comes down once again. The Soul Taker has just taken matters into his own hands. There was no reason for him to come in. He just decided that he wanted to absolutely demolish the competition. The big chop almost sends Dane over the top rope, and the clothesline does. Let's get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match by disqualification, Steve Cox and Steve Dane.
For action, go behind. Reversed by Chaz. Brings him down, a reversal. As Chaz now with the advantage. Sit out by Anthony, sit out by Chaz. Anthony trying to find the escape from this particular predicament. But Chaz makes Anthony scurry to the ropes to get a break. Well, a tough guy when he's on the offensive, but apparently when his offense is met by defense, he scurries back. Chaz now with the advantage with a side headlock. Climbs the ropes, brings him over, maintains the side headlock. Good enough for a count of 1 by senior official Sean O'Brien. Takes the ladder up the other way and brings Anthony down once again. Pressure on the side of the neck of the Palm Beach heartthrob. Anthony able to escape, but falls victim to the shoulder block. And Chaz right back into the side headlock. Chaz climbs the ladder once again and brings him over. Nice moves by the youngster from Los Angeles, California. And Anthony slithers back. Goes out of the ring, but Chaz won't break the hold. Chaz has it locked on like a vice grip and nowhere for Anthony to go. Grimacing in pain is the Palm Beach heartthrob, but able to get out of it by sending Chaz into the turnbuckle. Don't look now, the vice grip's back on. Once again, able to get out of the hold by sending Chaz in the turnbuckle, but Chaz says that's not enough. Back into the side headlock. He's going to try it one more time. It looks like no. Anthony goes into the corner to force the break. Sean O'Brien calling for the break. And the heartthrob is hurting. Back into the side headlock. Up he goes. But Anthony, with a belly-to-back suplex on the reversal, brings Chaz down on his back. Meanwhile, trying to get some of the feeling back into his head is Scott Anthony. Delivers the kick. And out. Sends him out. Chaz down to ringside while Scott Anthony trying to shake some of the cobwebs out. Delivers a shoulder block, sending Chaz out even farther. And Anthony may have Palm Beach headache number 454. Bringing Chaz back in with a handful of hair. Pulls the arm over, delivers the suplex. Down onto the neck of Chaz. Anthony now going to work. Thought he was going to get a backdrop. Trying to bring him down. Here's Chaz. Anthony goes down. There's a count of 1. That's 2. But delivering a couple of inner thighs there. Scott Anthony now delivering the sole of the boot, going right for the choke. Breaking it just before the count of 5. Scott Anthony taking advantage of every bit of the rule book. Oh my. The Palm Beach heartthrob. What? No! Misses with a boot. Atomic drop. Anthony didn't take too kindly to the first one. How about the second one? Misses again. Watch out, number 3 as he goes into the turnbuckle. Chaz trying to recover, now climbs to the second rope to deliver a series of rights. Scott Anthony trying to figure out a way to escape the punishment. Seeking lower ground there, I guess. Chaz to the top rope. Misses with a crossbody block. Anthony out of the way. Picks up Chaz, sends him into the corner, and follows it up. Watch out. The clothesline sends him down. Anthony Anthony picks up Chaz, ready to deliver the head throb. The Palm Beach Pile Driver sends him down.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Scott Anthony.
Main event, Wild Bill Irwin going against the Handsome Stranger.
You know,
very popular man.
Oh, very popular man. You know, it's always a main event when Wild Bill gets in the ring. But I tell you what about this Handsome Stranger. You know, every time I see him come to the ring or I hear him going to the ring, it reminds me of a pig farmer I used to know up in Minnesota. And you want to know why it reminds me of a pig farmer?
Why?
Because when the pig farmer, he'd come walking out to see the pigs, they automatically knew that it was feeding time, and they started to go, wee, 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 wee. Now when this so-called Handsome Stranger comes down to the ring, and all these little girls see him, I hear him going, wee, wee, wee. And I tell you, I go right back to Minnesota and the pig farmer. So, Mr. Stranger, you bring all your little pigettes, and you bring them on down to the ring, get in the ring with me, and I'll put a little bit of leather on your back, and I guarantee you're going to squeal just like one of them little pigs.
At 7'7", 444 pounds, and that's without the axe. The Canadian giant Paul Bunyan making his way around ringside. The axe alone is about 6 feet tall. Maybe a little bigger. Quite frankly, this announcer wouldn't want to get close enough to find out how tall that axe is. And now allowing the people at ringside, it takes 3 people to hold it. And that's because one of the people may have gone out to the concession stand, otherwise 4 people wouldn't be holding it there. Bunyan making his way into the ring, both men attacking him. I don't think this is a good way to start a meeting with Paul Bunyan, the Canadian giant. Running the shoulder blocks at him, and it's not working. Let's try this side, see if this works better. No, hip toss. Hip toss sends Robinson down. El Diablo, El Kerplunk. Robinson, the same fate. Same song, second verse. The Canadian giant delivers the double clothesline as his opponents are wondering why they ever signed this match. Paul Bunyan from the woodlands of Canada, 444 pounds. Timeout. And Ed Robinson and El Diablo want timeout. Looked like Paul Bunyan might have wanted to give him his own version of a Canadian timeout. Waiting in the wing. Robinson tries a higher elevation. Maybe not such a good idea. Robinson being carried around like a tree stump and almost planted there. Watch out. From the top rope and down. The Canadian giant seems to be enjoying things. Don't look now. The knee delivered. Effect on both men. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3. As those men cornered, and watch out. Using El Diablo's match like a bowling ball. Headbutt. Diablo sent out of the ring. Calls for the timber. Rolls Robinson over. Count of one, count of two, count of three. Here comes Diablo. Kick delivered into the midsection. Let's get the official word. I don't think there was a doubt about this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, the biggest man in professional wrestling, Paul Bunyan.
The Canadian Giant with the win. Hollywood John Tatum in action when we return. Into the ring. Getting set to take on a man who claims to be a 52nd degree black belt. John Tatum at 6'4", 265 pounds from Southern California. Hollywood, to be exact. Getting set to go against one Barry Usher, and the feathers are flying from John Tatum while he disrobes. John Tatum, in the biography sheet he just handed to me, says that he is qualified for Wimbledon 6 years in a row and has won 3 sit-up titles. Obviously, you can't believe everything you read these days. A handshake. Does Barry Usher believe that? Getting ready to do the collar and elbow tie-up, but Tatum moves it into a chicken wing. Usher escapes with a trip to the top rope. And now, the leg trip. I don't know quite what to call this, the leg bar. Never quite seen it executed like that. Once again, Tatum extending the hand of friendship. Or in some cases with John Tatum, the hand of fiendship. Arm drag takes Tatum over. And if we were scoring this one on points, it would be about even. Tatum looks over towards our broadcast position, rather perplexed at his opponent. There's the lockup. Tatum backs Usher into the corner and a chop. 2 times. Tatum using those backhands to his advantage. And the clothesline. That being wrestling's version of the overhead smash. One arm body slam. Tatum also claims to have won Mr. California 4 years in a row, but with a physique like that, I'm not quite sure. Taking some of the balance away from Barry Usher. Now Tatum. It's somewhat a version of the camel clutch here. Doesn't quite have Usher off his base. Usher gets over to the ropes.
In the ropes, Tatum, break it. Break it.
Rick Manning asking for the break, and Tatum with a clean break.
You want to shake my hand, Bill?
Asks Barry Usher if he wants to shake his hand now. Back in the middle of the ring. Go behind by Tatum. Nice takedown. Half Nelson. Tries to pull him over. Usher escapes. And now, after the reversal, Tatum makes it to the ropes. Both men back up. Hip toss by Tatum, who is showing that he does indeed know the scientific way to wrestle. Both men versed in freestyle wrestling. Pulls him over with a side headlock. And now goes to work trying to wear down Barry Usher. Still to come, the Dirty Davis brothers against Chris Walker and Steve Simpson, plus the Handsome Stranger to take on Wild Bill Irwin. Series of elbows by Usher. Oh! California kick right on target. John Tatum thinks he's Ishiban. Oh, my. All the flamboyance aside, Tatum gets the win.
The winner of the match, John Tatum.
Back with a tag team matchup when we return.
It's not important that Craig Johnson is at ringside, honey, because Christopher Love is here, and what a great match it'll be.
Well, the match is the Dirty Davis brothers against the team of Conan, Chris Walker, and Steve Simpson.
Two gorgeous guys, the Davis brothers, against two fat, out-of-shape slobs like, what's his name, Miss Walker and Steve Simpson?
Oh, please. There's Candy Devine,
a pretty girl for a girl.
I'm wondering what she's doing at ring. Well, hello. Wondering exactly what she's doing at ringside. Here's a lady you're familiar with through your contacts with the LPWA.
Well, it's really none of your business, so let's not worry about that.
Well, excuse me. Hopefully we can be civil here.
We'll be real civil, but ladies and gentlemen at home, honey, look at Steve Simpson's body. It's greased down like a pig. If I was Candy Devine, which thank God I'm not, I would be telling the referee, you know, let's wipe these bodies off. And you just seen Simpson pull his hair. You've seen it. Tell the people you've seen it.
The opinions expressed by Christopher Love are his own and do not reflect those of the Global Wrestling Federation. Or
Steve Simpson is known all through the global area for being a dirty tactic player.
Obviously, you and I have been looking at different videotapes. Back into the corner. Clean break by Steve Simpson.
Not really. He pulled his hair again. As you can tell, look at his hair. It's messed up. Something like yours.
Now Tom Davis is going to see what he can do with Steve Simpson. Tom Davis built almost like a bulldog.
Excellent physique. Wonderful wrestler.
Back into the corner. Let's see if we'll get a clean break here. Sean O'Brien count.
See? Now, why can't Simpson and Conut play the same way?
Christopher Love joining us at ringside. Collar and elbow tie-up as Simpson gets the upper hand.
Here at the beautiful Global Dome. I hear they're going to put a big portrait of me in front of the building.
We want people to come to the building.
You can assure sellouts then, honey.
Oh, please.
Conan, Chris Walker in the ring, honey. What a poor excuse for an athlete this man is.
Poor excuse for an athlete? This gentleman spends hours in the gym every day building that physique. It's almost as though it's chiseled out.
Oh, that's what he's been doing in the gym. Uh-huh.
Davis sends Walker into the rope, shoulder block. He sends Tom Davis down.
You must admit, Craigie, the Davis brothers are one of the most exciting tag teams in the Global Wrestling Federation. Of course, right underneath the PYTs.
Do we have to talk about two guys who make Blimpie an everyday event?
Honey, they're the bodies of the 90s. That's what it's coming to. The girls adore them.
Not that that's important, because believe me, it isn't.
What do you think about that move, doing a few leg push-ups?
Doesn't be able to get into a hold without pulling hair, pulling tight, and I have no regard for wrestlers who wrestle like that. We play by the rules.
Able to reverse a possible pinning predicament, turning it into one of his own. Is Steve Simpson working on the arm of Tom Davis, the younger of the Dirty Davis brothers. Look how he steps up there and then brings down the pressure on the arm.
Craigie, please don't put your arm around me, please. I'm just here to announce. The wonderful Davis brothers, and I'm sure they're going to win this match. But you know, Conant in the ring and Steve Simpson, you know, I think the PYT should be in this match because then we'll have true champions, honey. Walker, you're speechless, but you know why? Because Walker and Simpson are afraid to sign for a match with the PYTs, honey. Explain that, Craigie.
It's all up to the competition committee as to where they rank these, as you call them, PYTs.
Should be the imbecile committee. But we're getting there, honey. We're taking our time. And I love to do that.
Wish you'd take less of my time. Arm drag.
You adore me. Tell the people the truth. The fact is, your job's in jeopardy, and the only reason they have me out is to save you. Now tell the truth, Craigie. Close fist. Cheat, cheat, cheat. I'm tired of
That was a
this.
forearm, Christopher.
See, honey, well, how'd you get this job? You don't know a forearm from a fist.
Shoulder block. Simpson sends Mike Davis down. There's a handful of hair right into the sole of the boot.
How wonderful. How wonderful.
Davis misses with a clothesline, but Tom Davis delivers.
Oh, how wonderful. Have you ever seen anything more exciting?
The Dirty Davis brothers with the advantage. Tom Davis with a series of headbutts.
I wish these people would shut up. They're such a distraction. You know, people pay to come into the arena. That doesn't mean they pay to cheer. They're to sit there and shut up as far as I'm concerned.
I'm glad you don't run this place. Elbow delivered by Tom Davis.
Honey, this would be the Divine Palace if I ran this place.
Speaking of Divine, Candy Divine at ringside. Former AWA Ladies Champion, apparently very pleased with what her men are doing in the ring. Short clothesline delivered.
The tar out of these two piece of trash athletes called Simpson and Walker. Now let's be honest, the Davis brothers have been supreme in this match.
Combination half Nelson rollover by Tom Davis. Foot on the rope.
What a cowardly thing to do.
What a
Simpson
smart
has
thing to do.
Smart, that's a coward's way out. You'll never see the PYTs do that, honey.
Suplex just powered up by Tom Davis.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
By the way, are those real cubic zirconias in those rings?
Honey, them are the real thing, and don't get too close.
Don't worry, I wouldn't.
You. Come on,
Double
Michael,
teaming
you're doing
going
such a
on.
wonderful job. Will you shut up? I'm talking. Michael doing such a wonderful job over here. Is this just the most exciting wrestling you've ever seen on television? It's the Global Wrestling Federation. And, honey,
Look at the extra
#1.
leverage right there.
Oh, yes. Isn't that wonderful? That's legal.
No, it
It's
isn't.
called tag team wrestling.
Yes, you're supposed to tag the man in, one person, one-on-one at a time.
Why don't you go broadcast basketball, honey?
First of all, it's not basketball season.
Open hand. Down to your knees, Simpson. Yes, all the way down. Put him to sleep, honey. Put him to sleep. I wish these people would shut up.
Tom Davis, well-versed in the submission arts of Japanese submission wrestling, now trying to put his man to sleep with a sleeper hold. Locked in with the arm behind the head, putting pressure on the carotid arteries.
Why are these people, why do they have to speak? I don't understand.
Simpson able to get out of the predicament and deliver a clothesline to the chest.
A very sloppy clothesline, tell the truth.
Simpson needs to tag Conan Chris Walker.
Simpson needs to give.
There's the tag. Here comes Conan Chris Walker.
Wait a minute, Craigie. I'm not so sure there was a tag.
There was indeed a tag by both teams. Clothesline delivered 2 times.
Clothesline never close hit.
Both the Dirty Davis brothers go down.
Excuse me? Come on, boys, you can do it.
Watch out from behind, Tom Davis.
Yes, kick him. Yes, hit him. Isn't this exciting? There isn't anything more exciting in the world today. This is it, honey.
Ducking under, comes back. Sunset flip. Tries to get Davis down. Drop kick delivered. Davis goes down. 1, 2, 3.
That was not legal.
The tag
That
team
was
of
not
Chris
legal.
Walker and Steve
This needs to be investigated. This needs to be investigated.
Christopher Love's investigation
I can
will go on
this
during
win.
this
On
break.
behalf of the Davis brothers, I contest this win.
We'll hear more from Christopher Love, unfortunately.
Announce the real winners, the Davis brothers. I said so.
The handsome stranger, roses in hand.
Look at the craters in his face. I'm the one in black. I was on the committee that demanded that he wear a mask because he's so ugly. And you want to call him the handsome stranger? This is the gruesome stranger.
From Monte Carlo, making his way around ringside, delivering roses to the ladies.
Roses that he stole from the old lady's house who lives across the street from the Global Dome. The man's nothing but a cheat, he's nothing but a thief, and he don't need to be here, and he's double ugly. Honey. Biller was going to give him the lesson of his life. I beg you, please.
The rose delivered to the lady at ringside. Irwin still without whip, watch out.
Now, come on, any lady in America, you stand Bill Irwin in the ring, and you stand the handsome stranger in the ring, and 100 out of 100 is going to pick Bill Irwin. He is the true man's man. Look, Bill Irwin, what a great body. Look at that wonderful body. The handsome stranger, the gruesome stranger.
We ring the bell, and the pageant commentary of Christopher Love comes to an end as we're ready for action. A chop delivered by Bill Irwin as the stranger on the ropes. No clean break there, and I think the stranger knows what rules that Wild Bill goes by.
I think the stranger is scared.
Well, the stranger can deliver the chops too. And I don't see one scared muscle on the handsome stranger.
Do you please have to call him the handsome stranger? Please.
That's his name.
That's not his name.
What is his name,
He
Investigator
is the
Christopher
gruesome
Love?
stranger.
Christopher Love joining us for his colorful commentary at ringside.
The handsome stranger cheating again, honey. Everybody at home seen him pull the hair. I'm getting real tired of this. I'll have him barred from Global. I have that power, you know. I have wonderful influence on the committee. They love me.
The handsome stranger and Bill Irwin facing off.
Handsome stranger shaking with fear. That's illegal. Hold his trunks to get him in that predicament.
That's a great scientific move.
What kind of
Single leg
wrestling move
takedown.
is it to try to rip somebody's boot off? Give me a break.
Speaking of boots, those aren't exactly the most orthodox of footwear.
Isn't that a pretty canvas?
Pretty canvas?
You know, one thing I have to say something great about this Sean O'Brien. What a wonderful referee. Look at all them zits. He is an ugly, ugly man. How can they call this man the handsome stranger? It's beyond me. He is an ugly man.
Honestly, folks,
And from what I hear,
it's perplexing to me that Christopher Love and I are actually watching the same monitor, and he sees something totally
I heard
different.
that all the ladies that he gives roses to, they throw him away right away. They just don't want to hurt his feelings. Now, Craig, you're going to tell all America this is a handsome man?
Handsomely delivered is the clothesline.
He got lucky.
The
More than you
handsome...
can say.
Keep the comments to the action in the ring.
Illegal. I was. Illegal.
Side headlock, putting pressure on the temples.
You know someone who I'd love to see wrestle the handsome stranger?